Hey, hello. It's me. I'm back with your live today. Oh gosh, people, you have no idea. I hope you can hear me. So I think you heard me last time. The reason I've got my headphones on is because the air conditioning is quite it's quite intense in here. So my lovelies, here we go. Today we're talking about when he talks sex. Now, I don't know how quick or how slow this video is going to be. I love the lives because I can just go. I can just keep going or say whatever I need to say without kind of watching the clock too much. So, one of the things that's been happening a lot lately is a lot of you ladies are doing great. A+ to all of y'all who are out there taking the move, making the move to find a mate, to be proactive about being found, positioning yourself to be found, really putting yourself out there, presenting yourself so that the high value men can come to you. And I'm excited about all the exciting stuff that you're telling me, the dates you're going on. I'm loving the progress in this group, but we're facing a little bit of few barriers that I've heard from a lot of areas, and I just want to help you out here. Let's turn this down a bit. I want to help you out a little bit because one of the things that we really need to get straight in our heads is that men are sexually wired. They are very sexual beings. They are very sexually driven. It's just how it is. They are dying to have sex most of the time, pretty much all the time. Men think about sex, want to have sex pretty much all the time. And those who are not gentlemen, as in civilized and nurtured and grown and high value, have not yet learned how to master that sex drive. They haven't learned how to, the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. They haven't learned to guard their heart and manage their thoughts enough to be in the presence and the company of a lady and be interested in who she is, even though they really want to shag her. They just haven't mastered the art form. The gentleman who is not talking sex to you, who is inquiring about who you are, he has the same level of physical attraction. He wants to sleep with you as well, but he's just been culturally conditioned to behave and not knock a woman on the head and drag her off. He's learned to be a gentleman. That's why we call them gentlemen, because they have been gentrified, through the process of being raised properly and through culture and just understanding how women are wired. Now, the wise and more mature men know to appeal to a woman's emotional place, to make sure that they show interest in who she is and that they build attraction through her emotional place and space. The less mature men will just allow their sexual desires to spill out of their mouth, and they will say it straight up. And but what I want us to be clear on is that there is a balance to be had. Even a gentleman will have innuendos and allude to sex because he wants to escalate. He does not want to be in the friend zone. We all know that the guy that doesn't talk sex to us, who doesn't I've got my juice delivered. Thank you, son. He's making my drinks, you see. Oh God, he's so sweet. Anyway, the guys that we're gonna meet, even when they're high value and gentlemen, they are gonna sexually escalate, because if they don't do that early on, if they don't let you know that this is not that kind of party, it's very easy for us as women to friend zone men and take them into the friend zone without being aware that we're doing it. So a wise man will escalate. So here's what I want us to figure out. So when we're online dating, a man shouldn't bring up sex within the first conversation, even the second conversation. And when I say bring up sex, I'm talking about their pictures, nude, no shirt at the top. He's bringing up sex. Showing you his guns, he's bringing up sex. Showing you his torso, he's bringing up sex. Showing you how sexy and buff he is in a lot of his pictures. He is really saying to you, he is telling you unconsciously, subconsciously, what he is online looking for. here's the thing, we cannot hide our true intentions. They have a way of spilling out. They have a way of spilling out in the way that we dress, in the way that we address other people, the way that we present ourselves to the world shows people our true intention despite what we're saying. So when you see the pictures of a guy who's not wearing a shirt and he's making sure that he's got a good picture of his guns and his muscles, that guy is sexually motivated. That is what he's online to do. Now, obviously, men are not going to be in the real world showing you their guns, etc. so much as they're going to talk about how sexy you are and, oh my gosh, you're so sexy, the way they look at you and the way they place their eyes. All of that should not come in the first initial encounter with a man. If you feel that your conversation with a man is so sexual that he's gone there without there having been some sort of conversation, then he is sexually motivated, and that is what he wants from you only. Probably for the most part, that is what he is out here on the marketplace in search of, and he's testing to see whether or not he can get that quality from you. But there's also the other side of the spectrum where I find some of us is very, very sensitive. If a guy flirts in a sexual kind of way, we shut down our walls because we assume that is all that he wants. We need to understand that there is a balance of a man sexually escalating what is a good relationship. You've been talking, you've got banter, you've got a lot in common. He's established that there is something beyond sex here, and then he says, oh, I love you've got such a beautiful bottom. When I met you, when we went for a date, I looked and you were going to the toilet and I saw your beautiful bottom. Or whichever way he says it. That's really not something for you to be like, oh, here we go again, he just wants to get laid, blah, 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 blah. Is you understanding that he's sexually escalating. And in that situation, you'd say, well, thank you very much, that's very kind of you. And then if he was to escalate that, if he said something like, yeah, well, I'd love to know how he feels in my hands, or something of that nature, all you have to say is, well, that's boyfriend-husband privilege. Wherever the level of commitment that you require for a man to touch you, that's when you would say, that's husband privilege, or that's boyfriend privilege. So let's see. That way you are also using that to set your boundaries. You have to understand that if a man doesn't sexually desire you, he is not going to pursue you. The reason he is talking to you, the reason he's even seeking to make friendship with you, the reason he's even seeking to engage with you is because there's a deep sexual desire. In the absence of that, you're just merely a friend. So when men, one of the things that we do as women is we make men feel guilty for having their sex drive or being sexually attracted to us. We make them feel guilty because we try and make it out as if that is all they want, that is all they're about. But in reality, that's not what they're all about. That's not all they want. They want you too. It's just that they're not communicating effectively. So how do you know what to do and how to react? You have to first understand that this is how men are wired. He is going to want to test my boundaries sexually. And some guys are out here ready for a relationship, but they will test your boundaries sexually because what they want to see is how easy you are. If you are the girl that's easy and you go into the sex talk real quick, then they will categorize you and they will decide you're not a keeper, you're not wifey material, but they may as well get a shag along the way to where they're going. If you act like an absolute prude and we don't talk sex, I'm just so Christian or I'm so whatever I am, then you're going to put him off because no one wants to chase something that they can never have. The idea is to always put the carrot before the donkey. It's the carrot being far enough for the donkey to keep walking towards it, but also not so far that the donkey can't be bothered. Do you know what I mean? Or so close that the donkey just ends up chewing it. Everything's about the carrot and the stick, and making sure that you understand that your only leverage in any male-female relationship is the carrot, and the carrot is what you have to offer because you are the sexual gatekeeper. You are the one that decides whether a man can have sex or not. If you say no, he's not having sex unless he rapes you, in which case he's committed a crime. So a woman is the one that stands at the door of the sexual door and says yes or no to a man. It's really that simple. So he can only see if the doorkeeper has the door tightly shut or if the door is open or has been wide open for everybody to come in and out. So men will test your sexual boundaries. Sometimes I might do it early on, but how you respond, if you respond angry and put off, and then he's not going to really want to keep chasing that. But if you take that, whatever it is, and say, time out with that, we're not there yet, then he knows that he's got to do a bit more work before he can even engage with you verbally even. It's okay to set your boundaries and not just be put off and think, oh my gosh, I can't be bothered. I can't deal with the fact that, you are someone that is beautiful, and for a man, that beauty translates to somebody that he wants to have sex with. Okay? And there is no better place for a man to have sex than with a woman. Like, that's just how it is. Even you are a prize in so many other ways, and you shouldn't hate the fact that you are such. But what you do need to do is develop the skills to manage a man's sex drive, to manage his interest when he's coming towards you, to understand that is going to come up at some point. And if you are in a relationship and that has never come up, you will friend zone him. You will put him in the friend zone, and you will find it hard to escalate the relationship beyond that. So you have to understand that men have to check and verify you too. It's not just a one-sided affair. A high-value man wants to check and verify. He wants to know that you will be fun in bed. He wants to know that you're a fun girl, that you'll always be up for some good loving, and that you're not going to be one of those women that he has to beg and plead with when he's married to her, in a relationship with her, to have sex with her. He doesn't want that, because he's probably had that before. And if you come across as a prude, that's what he's going to think he's going to get. Neither does he want a girl who's putting it about, who just is okay. So being clear about your standard, pushing back when you're not comfortable, that's a good thing. But don't completely write off a guy because he's sexually escalating, or write him off if that's the first thing he says, the first thing he does, the first thing he comes to you with. Get rid of him. Don't even entertain it. Don't even look in his direction, because he's letting his intentions come across in such a way that he's being very obvious with you. And sometimes men are obvious with us like that because they want us to know what's on the table, that it's not love on the table. I am here because I want your body, and I am offering you my body, and that is what it is. Now, if you're not on the market for that, that's fine. Let him go and find somebody who will say yes to that, because unfortunately or fortunately, as the case may be, there will always be somebody who is up for it. There's always a girl out there who's just looking for a shag. That's not you, and that's okay to be a lady and let him know that he's knocking on the wrong door. But it's really, what I'm talking about today is really establishing your boundaries and being okay with having boundaries, and realizing that the reason we have boundaries is people are constantly going to push against them. And it's the same thing with dating. So I don't want you to lose out on love because you jump down some poor guy's throat because he said you're sexy, or because he thinks your bottom is nice, or he likes your lips, or he thinks your eyes are sexy, and then you jump down his throat and think, here we go, just another guy trying to get laid. Neither do I want you entertaining people who just want to shag you. I want you to recognize the difference between somebody who's a hit and quit and somebody who's here to stay. That they're both men, they're both being sexually motivated, but they're both approaching it differently depending on what it is they're trying to achieve in this relationship. So if it makes you feel uncomfortable, that's where you set your boundary. It's not where you run necessarily. If it's in your face, out of order, cut it off, right? I hope that this video is clear. If I haven't been clear, let me know. Put it in the comment section, because it's really important for me to be clear to you so that you know how to navigate and don't feel like, oh my God, should I be accepting this? Should I not be accepting this? Is this okay? You and only you will determine the levels of comfort that you have about and around your sexuality. And if you are healthy and you have a healthy take on sexuality, then you know that you can flirt, you can play with it, but you can also pull back and set your boundaries. And that is an art form about, first and foremost, being true to yourself, true to your values, and true to what matters, with the understanding that they are gonna be interested in your physical intimacy with you as a primary. Okay, and the men that are ready to settle down and get married are gonna wanna make sure that there's more substance, and they're not gonna be so pushy, they're not gonna be so in your face about it, but they're not gonna have innuendos, they're not got to take it off the table, because then they become friends. But you will see from the intent that they want to know you. They want to know what pleases you. They want to know what makes you happy. They want as much information about you as possible so that they can do it for you and make you happy, right? So it's really about that. It's about really coming to terms with this idea and not getting carried away with fear, not getting carried away with, oh my gosh, this is all we're in. So if you are unsure, put it in the group, put a comment in this group and say, this is what he said to me. What do y'all think? And let's see if we can get a discussion started and see where everybody is. And then I will give you my take on what that comment means. Okay, having obviously asked enough questions. If you're finding this a little bit difficult to get around your head, then you can contact me on Magnify. I don't know if there's a link, but I'll try and put one on there. And we can have a chit chat about it. 15 minutes is free, so we can talk about it for 15 minutes and see where you stand in the midst of it. So that said, take care of you. I'll see you in my next video. Hi, Unique. You've just come at the end. I'm about to go in and get cool. So take care, everyone. Have a good day. Stay cool. Love you lots.